Okay, so Mark chapter 14, verse 51. And there followed him a certain young man, having a linen cloth cast about his naked body, and the young men laid hold on him. Okay, so he's just telling you, the guy's, a certain young man is following. He just has a linen cloth about his naked body, so he must have left in a hurry or something. And so the young men laid hold on him, so they grabbed him. And then verse 52, and he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. So he didn't want to stay with them, so he forget about being naked. He took off. And 53, and they led Jesus away to the high priest, and with him were assembled all the chief priests and the elders and the scribes. All right, so that was another council meeting, and they got Jesus there. Okay. And verse 54, and Peter followed him afar off, even into the palace of the high priest, and he sat with the servants and warmed himself at the fire. All right, because so Peter's falling around. Well, at least he's following them. All the rest left. They scattered. All right. So Peter's warming himself at the fire. He's, wants to see what's going to happen. In verse 55, and the chief priests and all the council sought for witness against Jesus to put him to death, and found none. Right, so they want to make it, the evidence. They want to make it concrete evidence against him, put him to death. Right? They're looking for witnesses, but they didn't find any. And then verse 56, for many bear false witness against him, but their witness agreed not together. So they got a bunch of witnesses, but their stories weren't lining up. They weren't matching, so they couldn't really use them because they didn't, it wasn't going to be a good witness against them. As he said, their witness agreed not together, so they didn't get their story straight. Okay. And 57, and there arose certain and bear false witness against him, saying. Okay, so now there's some other witnesses coming. And they're going to bear false witness against him. And it continues in 58. We heard him say, I will destroy this temple that is made with hands, and within 3 days I will build another made without hands. So that was their witness. We heard him say this. And then 59. But neither so did their witness agree together. So you couldn't use them either because they weren't getting their story straight either. And then verse 60. And the high priest stood up in the midst and asked Jesus, saying, answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witnesses against thee? Or which these witness against thee? So, he's talking all these people making all these accusations. So the high priest, he's like, you're not going to say anything? So what? He's like, what is it? What all these people that are witness against you? And in 61, but he held his peace and answered nothing. Again the high priest asked him and said unto him, art thou the Christ, the Son of the Blessed? 61. So he held his peace, so he's just saying nothing. So he's asking me, aren't I the Christ? He's trying to get him to admit of a blasphemy, so they can put him to death. He's just staying quiet. And then at this point, in verse 62, and Jesus said, I am. And ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. That's what he has. Are you the Son of the? Are you the Christ, the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed? And now Jesus said, "I am," because he's showing you that these witnesses are all coming against him, trying to have a concrete evidence against him, and they're all failing, right? So they don't have the right witness. So he asked him just point blank. He said, "I am." So that's showing that he gave himself to be crucified. He gave himself up. So no one's going to take him. He's doing it. That's why we got to believe it. And he did all the work. He gave himself up for all. Okay.